Hi everyone, here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new Shlohmo album, Dark Red. Shlohmo is a West Coast electronic music producer. This is his latest full-length LP. He has been dropping music under this name since the late 2000s. The first I heard of him was in 2011 with the album Bad Vibes, an album of very subtle and quiet glitch hop and wonky music that sounded like it was loaded with samples culled from Shlohmo's bedroom or something like that, just sort of clicks and thuds and boops. That is not even a sound or a word, as well as squeaks. And the end result of pulling all these sounds together was a very smooth, gloomy, and kind of relaxing album, which occasionally was very dark and brooding. Now, since the release of that LP, Shlohmo has continued to put out music, but more in an EP and single format than in an album format. And with each EP Shlohmo put out, it seemed like he was kind of just embracing some new current trend, whether it be the Vacation EP, where we heard just a little bit of UK bass and future garage on here mixed with some trap. Shlohmo went full trap on the Laid Out EP, which was incredibly dark and atmospheric. And then with the EP, which is a collaborative EP with singer Jeremiah, we had Shlohmo embracing the increasingly popular trend of very moody, atmospheric alternative R&B. With each EP, it seemed like Shlohmo was just kind of delivering just enough material to kind of grasp the style that he wanted to chase, and didn't really push it much further than that. So now we have this new LP, and I wasn't quite sure what to expect. It's not like there's this new big sound in electronic music or even hip-hop for Shlohmo to kind of chase after. But Dark Red is an album that seems more guided by mood than it does by trends or genre. Yeah, there are elements on this album of trap music, as well as maybe a little bit of glitch hop, as well as some 90s IDM style rhythms, a little influenced by jungle or drum and bass. There are a few different electronic music styles running throughout this album, but what's really going to grab your attention on Dark Red is that it is dark, or at least that's what it's kind of shooting for. And while a lot of the songs here may have kind of a dark aesthetic to them, they go about expressing that in very similar ways. The drums on this LP are slightly distorted, slightly dirty, very upfront, very dry, very close. The rhythms are kind of claustrophobic on this album, but then they are topped with reverb-soaked synthesizer leads, as well as maybe some watery guitar, depending on the track. And there are some kind of drony synth chords thrown into the mix somewhere too. If you like your electronic music sort of misty and foggy, slow, and gloomy, if you like the music of XXYYXX or Blue Sky Black Death, or you repeatedly find yourself going back to the Triangle Records catalog, I think you're gonna find some things to like on Dark Red. The synthesizers on this LP occasionally have kind of a rough, gurgling analog quality to them. And they play through some pretty chilling chords and arpeggios, or some very sad synth leads. I feel like I'm kind of listening to like a John Carpenter soundtrack, but for the trap generation. Just take the intro track on this LP, and my favorite track on the entire album, really, 10 Days of Falling. Very horror synth-esque, and the song eventually builds into this huge wall of rumbling synthetic sound. It's definitely a great start to the album, but the following tracks actually deliver roughly the same formula, but to a lesser degree of success. And I think it's mostly due to Shlohmo kind of fueling these tracks with some sort of lackluster chord progressions and melodic progressions. The mixing and layering on this LP sounds really good. This album has a pretty good sound to it, but the writing leaves quite a bit to be desired. Like with the instantly boring plinky synth lead on the track Meet Your Maker. I do like the IDM style drum beat on this track though. We also have loads and loads and loads of stale arpeggios all over the song Buried, which eventually rise up to a kind of lukewarm climax. And with the song Emerge from Smoke, we get these heavy, heavy drums and one layer of synth on top of another, which kind of drowns each other out a little bit. Each one individually doesn't sound terrible, but there's not really much to these synths in the way of counterpoint or sort of working together to create any kind of complexity. A lot of the time it just seems like the only reason Shlohmo introduces another synth part is just to kind of fill space, not really to add any harmonic or melodic intricacies. While these tracks aren't awful, to me they just kind of read as something that would work much better as a soundtrack to something versus like kind of just an album or a main course. There's also the song Beams, the closing track on this LP. And here I just kind of see Shlohmo as trying to keep the very limited amount of ideas on this album hot and kind of refreshing. Whereas at this point, they've actually kind of gotten old for me. I mean, the album is an hour long, but I don't really think Dark Red gives me an hour's worth of ideas. I just think this could have worked better as an EP because there's at least a handful of highlights on here. I love the song Slow Descent, where the synth lead and the guitar lead on this track actually come together pretty nicely, and I love the jittery rhythms on this track too. And the song Remains I liked quite a bit as well, which is incredibly short, it's dark, it's sweet, it's kind of bittersweet, it's dark chocolate-esque, and I think a lot of the other songs on this LP could learn from this in that, yeah, maybe about 3 minutes of runtime is a good length for tracks on this album, because once songs here kind of push past that 4, 5, 6 minute mark, how limited Shlohmo's compositional abilities are becomes kind of clear. I liked this LP overall. I thought it was decent, but I'm not crazy about it. I can put why pretty simply. The sound of this album is great. The cold, frightening, gloomy, synthetic atmospheres on this record are entertaining. But when it comes to the music, it's just okay. The rhythms a lot of the time are very visceral and sound good, but the melodies and the chord progressions don't really bring that much flavor, in my opinion. I'm feeling a decent to strong 6 on this thing. Tran?
Musician, have you given this album a listen? And if so, what did you think of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? And more importantly, what should Anthony review next? Let him know down below. As far as myself, I am a YouTuber by the name of Jarrell's Alexandria. I'm trying to be a full-time YouTuber, and at the same time I'm trying to be a full-time magician, following in the footsteps of David Blaine, Houdini, trying to be a full-time musician as well, and trying to be a full-time filmmaker, movie maker. My first film is on my channel right now in 4K resolution. It's dark, it's sick, it's bloody, it's creepy. So you might like that. I do reaction videos and reviews myself, so check me out as well. And yes, forever,